Well, look, you have obviously a ton of success and you've done so many things. And I always like to go back. I mean, you're from the Southside of Chicago.
Yeah.
My engineer, Ryan, over here was like, well, that's the tough part of Chicago. And I'm like, is it? Was it? It's not the North. It's the South. It's always the South.
No,
but the Southside of Chicago, was it a tough childhood?
Yeah, it was, man. But when you're in it as a kid, you don't look at it as tough because that's just what you're used to. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, I mean, there was a lot of gang violence, a lot of fights, a lot of gunshots, being shot at sometimes, stuff like that. But you just looked at it like I remember a time being at the park, we played basketball at the park and people started shooting. Now, we just ducked down and like ran off. And then like once we get a block away, you and your boys are like laughing, like, damn, that was crazy. As opposed to going, we almost lost our lives. Like, it's just, it toughens you up to the point where not a lot of things get to you. So you get used to it. It's not the best way to get used to something.
No.
Because unfortunately, a lot of kids don't survive that. A lot of families are broken up by gang violence and drugs and, policing in some of these neighborhoods. But it definitely forms you in the way you think when you get a little bit older. But when I was 15, I want to say, we moved to the burbs. You go from the south side of Chicago, which is like parts of it is like the hood. Right. Then you move to like the western burbs where it is like suburbia, damn near. You know what I mean? It's like people leave their doors unlocked and shit like that. You're like, man, this is crazy.
Wow.
And it definitely changes the way you think. You start to see the differences in the neighborhoods, the differences in your friends, their upbringings, what life was like for them having a father around and you start to see where things could have been different for you, but you still appreciate where you come from because there's a level of awareness that I have that, certain kids didn't have.
Right. Was your father around?
No. So my father was actually deported back in the day, back to Belize. Because my family's from Belize, so he got deported back because of drugs, so he was selling a lot of drugs. This man was selling a lot of drugs.
Were you around that? Were you aware of that at a young age? You knew what was going on?
Oh, yeah. But again, it was normal because everybody's daddies did it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like you grew
and
up,
they did it in front of their children.
Yeah. You grew up, I mean, there were crackheads walking around. Sometimes, we'd come home sometimes, like, shit would be missing from the house. We had someone who lived across the street who used to just walk around butt naked and walk out, and turn a water hose on and pour water in a bucket. And she was just like, boobs out. She didn't care. She was on drugs. And that's just how she was going to live her life. And it was very normal to us. And we were like, hey, she was like, hey, y'all. And she was like, sometimes she would leave the water on and water bill would be high as fuck. Just like flooding our grass. It was